Hey everybody, welcome to another edition with Sean and I. As we look back on yesterday's 1-0 loss to Uruguay, can't say it was going to be a big surprise, but right now, if you're the USA men's soccer team, are you in panic mode or where are you?
Uh, I mean, I thought they didn't play poorly yesterday, but they're not. They blew it in match day one when they only won 2-0, and in match
Hmm.
two when they got the red card, and then they took the lead, but then
Hmm.
minutes later they let them score. I mean, it's a poorly coached team. The players are friends with the manager. He's
Hmm.
not the guy to lead the team forward. But the problem is, they don't. Who are they going to get? I mean, they don't. They've been in this spot before where they should have changed managers and they didn't. So I don't know. I don't have any. A lot of these people that are fans don't have confidence that they're going to make a move. I mean, they have to, but they might not.
That's possible. Now, here's three names that were put out today
Mm-hmm.
uh, by Soccer Magazine. And the first one on the list, and I don't think it's in any particular order, I just think that, they put down three names. Not that they were advocating for one or the other. Jesse Marsh. So
He's not
he,
taking the job because he's the Canada. Canada just qualified, so they're through. And
well,
he applied. He was applied for the job, and they passed him over. Why would he take the job?
right,
He just got hired as the Canada coach. Like, why would he take the job now? So, I mean, I think that's they should have hired him. Yes, but they didn't. And now, if I was him, I'd say no. I'm gonna get Canada. Canada's in the knockout stage. I'm gonna get Canada to the
right.
next Cup, and then I'm gonna go coach a club team somewhere else. I'm not gonna take this dumpster fire of America. Why would you?
I don't know. How about Terry Henry?
I mean, he's gonna
He was
coach.
one of my favorite soccer players when he
Yeah,
played.
I think he'd be a good. I know he's expressed interest in it. I think he'd be decent. He's had a mixed kind of bag, but I think you got
Mhm.
to go outside of America at this point. Um, I mean, there's probably bigger names to take the job. I mean, that are open. Klopp, but he wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. He Henri was, like Marsh. He was in the mix last time, and they decided not to take him. And he had success at Monaco. Um, got some relative success in Montreal with MLS. He got the team to the playoffs. Um, he's a name, and as you said, going outside of the country, he's outside the country. Now, the last one on the list is Uruguay's coach, the guy that beat them last night.
Why would you?
Marcelo, go
Why,
ahead.
why would Bielsa leave Uruguay? I mean, Uruguay's gonna. I think Uruguay wins this tournament. They're the best. I think they're the most talented team right now.
Mhm.
Depending, if Messi's injury is a little bit longer term, you know, he makes crazy money, and why? Once again, like, why would he take that job? He's with a better team now, and if he wants to, he could go back and manage a club side. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, I knew, that I think that Kyle Franzler's article, right, from World Soccer Talk, with
Mhm.
these, mm, and I mean, if I was one of these, Henri's probably the only guy that's gettable there. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
they should be talking to Jurgen Klopp. They should be talking to Pep Guardiola. They should be talking to some of these. The problem with Guardiola is he's not going to take the job before the end of the Premier League season, which is 2025, and U.S. needs to be
Right.
kind of going in the right direction now.
Hmm.
I don't even know if they'll change managers. They might just stick with Berhalter. The U.S. soccer is a disaster. It's they're not.
Yeah, but how do you sell yourself to sponsors and to the people that you need to impress to keep the money coming in if you aren't winning? I
I
mean,
mean,
hell, this is silly. They didn't even get out of the group stage. I mean, that's an embarrassment.
and it's a weak group. I mean, the
I
names
mean, the
that they're
manager should
talking
resign.
about, they're talking about names like, I saw another article like, they're talking about Steve Cherundolo and these guys, the MLS guys. Look, it's just none of those guys, Yogi Low would be a decent. None of these
Right,
guys will be, uh, you know, Pellegrino Matarazzo, my guy for New Jersey and Columbia University. Who's
right.
in the Bundesliga. That would be decent. But why is he leaving a club team? Why is Zinedine Zidane is waiting for the French job? He's not coming to U.S. These guys aren't taking these jobs. Like and the other guys are the MLS guys, Jim Curtin and Trundle. Those guys aren't. If you're gonna do that, just give it to B.J. Callahan, who's sitting next to him. They're talking about David Moyes. That wouldn't be terrible. He's won the first European Cup with West Ham. That would be pretty good. That'd be an interesting hire. But they're not gonna do that. Hervé Renard. Hey, that would be good. He's not with the French women's team anymore. David Wagner. These guys will be decent. But I just these players are soft. That's it. At the end of the day. I mean, the Pulisic baby after the game. These guys are just soft. They're not good enough. Um, they grew up in
But
this.
isn't that where the coach would be important to you?
I think the coach would be but the coach it's a player's coach and he's their buddy and it's a joke, but that's what you get when you got nepotism running rampant in the thing, and it's I don't know if you talk to so yesterday was there was the CONCACAF feed, correct? Is that correct?
Right. Yes, it was. Uh-huh.
That's your brother doesn't run that. That's just that's separate,
No,
correct? Did
that's
you
definitely. Yeah.
did you talk to him about the feed? There was a lot of talk about that on the timeline last night about the camera angle. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, there was some stuff that they did that just didn't make any sense. I
They're
mean, it
filming from
wasn't
they're filming from the moon. People were saying they're filming from the
right.
moon. And there were some weird angles from these corners where it was like above. I don't know if it was Spider Cam, but I think by like the 39th or 40th minute they changed it. But I don't. So maybe some of the camera, maybe there was a camera malfunction or something
I'll
like
be honest.
that.
I mean, yeah, I think they cheaped out. I mean, to be honest, because they're, if you're gonna do this and do it right, you need to spend serious money, and there was not serious. I mean, I did college games with more equipment than they showed yesterday.
It's that's to me. I mean, that's kind of that's just as embarrassing. I mean, the referee was atrocious. I just this I thought the announcers were kind of it's just like I mean just see these people you're watching it and it's just like amateur hour. It just makes America look like dopes. You're out there, the team stinks, the broadcast is terrible. The announcers are just, yelling at the referee. I mean, it's just like 2 years before the World Cup, it just makes us look really bad, and it's embarrassing. I just, it's
Well, they
no
also
good.
didn't sell out Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, there's 20,000, 21,000 empty seats. I mean, that's also, I mean, look, you know, I don't understand why you're playing at whatever they call Arrowhead now. You know, you could have played that at Sporting. You could have played,
Could have played it at Audi Field. Could have played it, you know, at a place where, I mean, that's an old political deal, right? Is you book a smaller venue for your, you know, for your candidate to show up to, so it looks like you got a packed house.
yeah, it didn't, it wasn't great. I think that's a, poor showing, obviously, from the American fans, and you know, you can make 100 excuses and whatever, but I just don't. You look at the Euros, the stands for the Euros, and it's not like that. The stadium's not empty.
No,
I mean, every stadium is
no, but
filled.
mhm. But let me ask you this: how do you fix it? Can it be fixed?
I mean, for the World Cup coming up, it's going to be different, obviously, because you're going to have more fans traveling. So, there'll be more,
Oh no,
seats.
no, I meant the national team.
Oh,
I'm not concerned about
I,
how they get fixed.
it's a
The
long
other
term.
stuff will take care of itself.
It's a long term fix. I mean, nothing is ever going to change with this until they stop doing pay for play, and the rich kids playing at these academies. Just in New Jersey alone, I've read the story. This joke. I mean, it's all just for people to get rich, and it's not for the best players. If you have to pay to play for these big
Hmm.
teams, it's not going to ever happen because, the best players in, might not have the money to travel, might not have the money to stay in hotel rooms, might not have the money
Hmm.
to stuff. I mean, it's a kind of a joke. But until that they figure that out, I mean, it's never going to change. I don't think. I mean, the team is soft.
Well, well, the other thing that's a bit perplexing is that the job of manager of the team doesn't pay in the top 10.
Yeah,
So if you want to go and get somebody, fine, but where's the incentive?
yeah,
If you're gonna get, if you're gonna take the U.S. job and take a pay cut, that doesn't necessarily sound like a good plan.
yeah. I think I'm not gonna take this. I mean, this job is too big. I mean, to for somebody to come in here and take a pay cut. I wouldn't. I mean, it's not. You're dealing with too much political nonsense
Well,
and all.
we talked about Marcelo, who beat them last time, you know, in Uruguay, right? Marcelo is the coach of, he's been the coach at times of Chelsea's women's team. Okay, he would have to take a cut from the Chelsea's women's team to coach, the U.S. and certainly a big cut from Uruguay.
Yeah, it's look.
Why would
I
he
mean,
do that?
yeah. He's coached. He's coached Leeds and he's coached in Spain
Yeah.
with athletic club, and he's a pure kind of guy. He's not gonna take the
Okay, I've
job.
got a plan. We have
Okay,
American.
what's that? We lose you? I think we lost Jim there. Looks like you still there, Jim? Oh, we lost Jim. He's going to be right back. Going to hear what his plan is. But look, Bielsa, Newell's Old Boys, Argentina, Chile, Bilbao, Marseille, Lazio, Lille, Leeds. He's not coming here. This is just let's kind of they got to find somebody that wants to come. Somebody's got to come from outside the country because they need this whole thing. To be honest, it needs to be demolished. But once again, it doesn't matter because it's all for money, and until they get rid of that pay for play and all this stuff, it's not going to make a difference. So we shall see. We got a game kicking off in a couple minutes here. Actually, right now, it might be the best game of the tournament. You got Turkey and, oh, wow. Netherlands, too late goals to win 3-0. Turkey and Austria, I think that's going to be the game of the tournament. And then you got Brazil, Colombia at 9 o'clock tonight, and Costa Rica, Paraguay, both. Brazil, Colombia. Brazil actually has to win that game. Colombia is on 6 points. Brazil needs to win to finish first in the group. And stay away from one of the group winners. Here's Jim. All right.
There we go.
I was just talking about the games.
Technical difficulties.
I was just talking about the games that are coming on. But what's the plan? What's your plan?
No, the plan was that that we get a bunch of people adopt kids from other countries that have soccer players, and then make them American citizens.
We have enough of that. To be honest, we have. There's kids that are. You got Kevin Sullivan coming through. The players are I think, are decent enough. You don't have a 9, but just they're soft. They cry about this. This guy's crying about this stuff. You guys, and they lost to Panama. Look, as soon as they only beat Bolivia 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking, you're like, this team is not that good because Uruguay won 5-0 and Uruguay could have scored 7 or 10 goals. I mean, this team is they're just average. We were talking about this earlier today. They're just a team. I mean, if they were in Europe, they would be like the Czech Republic or Czechia, whatever they're called now, or Slovenia or one of these teams. They'd just be like a mid-table team, for lack of a better term. They're not good enough to compete with Brazil and Argentina. I don't care what their Coca-Cola rankings is because
maybe that's ranked on the sale of Coca-Cola in the stadium.
It's a joke. I mean, the men's rankings. I mean, they have the U.S. ranked 11th. That's an absolute joke. There's no way they're the 11th best team in the world. They have Uruguay ranked below them, Colombia ranked below them. They have Mexico 15th. Mexico's terrible. They shouldn't be anywhere near the top 30. They have Germany ranked 16th. Look at that Germany team and tell me they should be ranked below the U.S. These rankings are a joke. I mean, it goes by the CONCACAF. I know this stuff. The worst conference around. They're not any good. They have Switzerland 19th, the same Switzerland that is going to beat England on Saturday. Austria's 25th. Watch this Austria team play in a couple minutes, and tell me, Turkey 42nd. Watch that game and tell me that they wouldn't smoke the U.S. So those rankings are really kind of a joke, to be honest. They're not good enough, and I don't think it's going to change. Right now as it is, I mean, they won't do anything in the World Cup. They'll be lucky. I mean, they'll get out of their group maybe. I mean, because the groups are going to be so weak. But they're not doing anything after that. There's no way. They're not good enough. They're just not. They don't have anybody that's good enough. Like Pulisic is a decent player, but he's not starting for I mean, where's Pulisic starting for France? Which player in the
Not.
US lineup would start for England or start for France or start for Belgium or start for, you know, maybe, Robinson would start for one of these teams. Well, nobody up the pitch is starting. They're not good enough. But the
Mhm.
American fans just can't wrap it around their head that this is the case, and it's just like they just like this blind support. But once again, I'm the wrong person to ask because I just don't care about this the Copa. I'm not a Copa. I watch the games because they're on, but I don't couldn't care less, to be honest. I watch the Euros is more interesting to me, but this
Mhm.
the U.S. is just it's not fun to watch them. They're not fun to watch at all.
Mhm. Well, let me ask you then, with regard to the Euros. So who wins? Is it Spain?
Right now, and Turkey already scored in the first minute. Turkey's up 1-0 after 30 seconds. Interesting.
Ooh.
Um, Spain looks like the best team right now. Spain plays Germany on Friday. Spain's going to play Germany, and Portugal's going to play France. I would think the winner comes from this side of the bracket because those are probably the four best teams in the tournament. Um, I think Netherlands maybe could make a run because of that side of the bracket, but the winner will come from those teams. Spain looks the best team right now, but Spain Germany, those two games on Friday should be titanic battles. France doesn't give up any goals. That's the thing. I mean, their defense is
Mhm.
just so compact. So if you can't, if you can't score, you're never going to win a game. So
That
I,
makes it
I
tough.
yeah, I'd be interested. I would love to see France play Spain in the semifinal. I think that would be a really interesting game. Um, so we
Well,
shall.
that's interesting.
Yep.
We shall see how it works out. But yeah, now as we get ready, we're not that far away from the Premier League starting.
Yeah, that's right.
And is it the usual suspects? Is Man City, ever going to get caught for the crimes they're doing, or are they just going to keep
Yeah,
coasting?
I think that's coming. You know, I think that's coming very shortly.
So it's just a matter of time then. So
It's just a matter
who's the
of time.
favorite then?
What's that?
Who's the favorite then?
Oh, Manchester City. I mean, I
Okay.
can't imagine anybody's going to beat them again. Maybe Arsenal. Once they talk about soft, they'll play. Um, it's Liverpool dropped back because Klopp's not there. That coach isn't. I can't imagine that coach is going to be good enough. They're getting old.
Mhm.
Um, no, I just don't see anybody else competing with City. But once again, I mean, it's all tainted, so it's kind of irrelevant.
So everybody's playing for second then.
Yeah, that's right. It seems like it.
Yeah. So Liverpool, Chelsea, any of the who's gonna be there?
Chelsea,
Who's gonna be
Chelsea could be interesting. I think Chelsea could be, pretty interesting with all their new players. I mean, he's just buying all these players every time you turn around. But
Mhm.
that's once again that could backfire because you can't buy everybody, and you got to integrate these players into a team. But at some point, that's going to catch up to you. So interesting to see how that works out.
Now you told me the other day that you thought that your team, Man United, was going to be um, a competitor in a couple, 2, 3 years. Is that something you still think is going on?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be a couple years before it happens. It's not going to be immediate, but it'll be. I think it'll be somewhat soon. So it just
Well, with
depends.
the new ownership, does that help, or is
Yeah,
that
look,
just
I mean, they're buying. They're putting football people in place. They've done a good job so far, and it looks like they're gonna shore up some spots they needed to be shored up. So I think but it's gonna be until Harry Maas and you know these Mandato and all these guys are coming through. I mean, they have players coming through, but until these guys are 20 years old, it's going to take a while for those guys to come in and contribute on a constant basis. But there is, you know, they have a core of young players that are going to come through, and they just need to be, put some other good players in around them. It seems like they want to keep buying younger and get younger and hungrier players. So that's the way I think you have to go. You got to be ready to go as soon as these other teams, City or something like that, falls apart.
I think I mean, but that to me makes sense, right? You go young and you got the team playing longer.
Yeah, and you got to you have a bigger window, longer window.
Right. And that's not a bad situation. You get them there, get them going, bang, bang, boom. Got that done. All right. So let's kind of wrap it up for this session. And thoughts on you got Uruguay winning the Copa,
Yeah, I think
and Spain is the likely,
I have
although
the
not
winner of
not.
I think Spain or France. Whoever wins that.
Mhm,
If both of them advance on Friday, I think whoever wins that semifinal is going to win that
mhm.
side of the draw. Whoever wins that side of the draw is going to win the tournament. Most likely it's going to be. I think France Germany will be a great game. Or sorry, Spain Germany, and then France Portugal should be pretty good as well. So
Well, we've got the Olympics coming up in a couple weeks. Is that really just more of the women's soccer side? Because I don't see much in the way of the men's side even paying attention to it.
men's is U23 tournament. You're allowed a couple overage
Hmm.
players, but it's really just it's a U23 tournament. It's not taken as seriously because
Hmm.
you can't. The club teams are already getting ready to play, so like these guys, if Manchester United's like not releasing Garnacho for the Olympics because he's playing in Copa. It's too much. There's too much. I think it's too much on the calendar. The women's is more of a tournament because it's there's not really these other tournaments for them, so it's actually a tournament. But once again, it's whatever. But yeah, for the men, it's not really. No one cares, to be honest. By the time the
And
Olympics soccer tournament ends, I mean the Premier League is going and the other La Liga, and there's already been games, so it's you know
yep,
U20s and
that's
stuff are
right.
good. I like the U20 World Cup and the U17. I'll watch it because it's I think it's interesting to see who's going to be a good player. But
Hmm.
a lot of times the people that are dominant, a lot of the people that are dominant at that level, it doesn't translate to being dominant when you're 23, 24. So it's the same as all these other sports. You draft these guys in the first round of baseball, and how many guys miss, don't make it. There's a lot. It's
More than make it.
yeah, that's right.
Well, a lot of these kids, and this is something that we just kind of branch off here for just a quick second. A lot of these kids who are drafted out of high school, especially the pitchers, they're getting Tommy John surgery before they even make it to the big leagues.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, that's crazy. Um, voluntary. I mean, it's not like they're even going there because they've got a problem. It's a voluntary thing. So it's like, what are you doing? I mean, it makes no sense. But it's everybody's trying to find the next, you know, Gary Cole. Um, it just doesn't work that way. They do what they do, right?
That's right.
So, so at the end of the day, that's that. All right. Well, um, any final thoughts before we move on here?
Oh no, just another day, of games, day and night, and this is the last day of the round of 16, so you got a couple more, you have a
Hmm.
couple dead days here, July 3rd and 4th, so
Hmm.
then it'll ramp up again on the weekend, Friday, Saturday. So
Hey, you got Wimbledon to watch.
yeah, that's right.
We had Djokovic wins today, so that's another day that he'll come back at the SW19 there. For those of you in England, that's your metro stop.
That's right.
So don't forget to get there. It's where you want to be. Um, and so yeah, I mean, besides tennis, you've got baseball, and that's about the size of it. Although I'm sure there's going to be enough, talk and chatter about, the off-season NFL to keep the football fans happy.
That's right.
It's 12 months out of the year. They just keep going. So, there you go. All right, everybody. So for Sean, they're on remote, and, and for me, y'all have a good day, and we will see you soon. Okay? Take care, everybody.